and welcome everyone. There's still a few of you coming in. I can see lots of you there. Excellent that you've got your cameras on. Hello, welcome.
Hey!
All right. So I might just give it a minute or two just to see if there's anyone else coming in. We're going to, be welcoming new and existing members tonight. And everyone's going to benefit from this session. I hope you can all hear me fine. So maybe just pop into the chat box hello, where you're from, who you are, even if you want to tell me what your position is. I'd love to know more about each of you. You can pop that in now just while we're giving it one more minute for people to come in. So obviously we have long daycare services, preschools, family daycare. We've got psychologists, playgroups, schools as community centres. All of you are benefiting from positive living skills, which is fantastic to have you here. And excellent. Hello, Tracy. Hi, Michelle. Everyone's coming in. All right. Feel free to pop anything into the chat. We have got 45 minutes tonight, so I'm going to give you a helicopter ride of positive living skills. So I will do my best to not talk too fast, but I'll also cover logging into the program, a demo of the program. We'll discuss the key features, and then we're going to have time at the end for question and answer. So if you do have anything that comes up during my demo, please pop anything in you'd like to into the chat box. Kath and Joe will be checking that out for me, and we can discuss towards the end. And I would actually like to start with our acknowledgement to country. So at Positive Living Skills, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and the community. So we pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and we extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. So thank you. Now, just before I do start demoing our content, I would like to do a little bit of housekeeping. So any contact that you have will normally come from myself, and that will be via email. Your service will also receive occasional emails from us to remind you of the amazing content you have access to. So please save any Positive Living Skills email addresses to your safe list. And sometimes we do have emails that go out into cyberspace, so just keep an eye on that, and please contact me at any time. Your welcome kit. So have you got your welcome kit? Because obviously everyone here, we are members. So if you are brand new to Positive Living Skills, you may not have received it yet, but checking that you've got your kit. So you've got your posters in there, and you've got posters to download from the platform, which I will show you. That you can pop up in your environment. Just remember that if it has been 3 weeks since you've joined Positive Living Skills and you have not received your pack, please shoot me an email so that we can follow that up for you. Okay. You will have had access to the program by registering with your service email, and the password would have been set with that service email. So please check that one out too if you have not had the opportunity to log in. And there's also some troubleshooting options there if you are having any issues. And then if you still are, you can always contact me, but it's pretty straightforward once you've got that welcome and that password email to get started. So once again, if there are any questions, pop them into the chat, or you can contact me via phone or email if you think of something after our session. And that's what I'm here for. So I might just give you a quick little overview of me. Sorry, I'm just reading into the chat there. Perfect. Great. Definitely share your feedback there. Thanks for that, Carol. So my name's Hayley Chant. I'm the Early Childhood Specialist for Positive Living Skills. So my background is early childhood, and I've started as a trainee, worked my way up through the ranks, and I absolutely love being educational leader, and found that that was part of my passion, as well as teaching children. I loved helping the educators as well. Then I went and had my 3 children, and then realized, what am I going to do now? And that's when PLS came along. And so that combines my passion of early childhood and mental wellbeing. So I feel very blessed that I'm able to serve my purpose through Positive Living Skills. Then we have Kath Shaw. So Kath, give us a wave. Kath is the founder of PLS, and this was back in 2013. So the program is based on her lived experiences with anxiety, depression, and her driving need to support young people. So she's able to live out her purpose by doing that and helping out educators and families as well to understand PLS and the benefits of it. And then we have Jo Devon, who is our co-founder. So give us a hi, Jo. Thank you.
Hey.
So yes, she's our co-founder of PLS, and she has brought so much expertise to this company, and we're so grateful for her. So she's done that through business management, counseling, life coaching. She's been an NLP practitioner, and the list goes on and on and on. And we think she's amazing. So along with Kath and Jo, we've got a team of psychologists, teachers, performance excellence professionals who have contributed to these resource pool style programs, because obviously we have the primary and the early childhood. And there's a bunch of professional development, there's family resources, and the concepts are backed by decades of research, which is also within the program if you're wanting to find out more about that. So it's evidence-based, thanks to our partnership with Charles Sturt University. And we would love to also acknowledge our partnership with Affinity. We're super grateful for this partnership that has come along with Affinity. Western New South Wales Primary Health Network, that has been amazing to have them come on board, and our C&K members as well. And then obviously all of our beautiful individual services who have said yes to PLS. So thank you everyone once again. All right, so with you guys registering for this session, I asked for feedback on what it is that you are wanting from Positive Living Skills and why it is that you've signed up to get more from this program. So a lot of that feedback was based on wanting to support children with challenging behaviours, grounding children during, after, and even, you know, leading up to those high emotions that they experience, learning to self-regulate, understanding emotions and a broad range of emotions that we and others feel. There was a lot of feedback saying that they wanted to be able to help children when it came to cooperation, sharing and turn taking, positive self-talk for children. And I think one of the biggest ones was, how can PLS help confidence of educators and their teaching? So we are going to show you how all of this can happen once I demonstrate the platform for you. But one of the biggest takeaways from that feedback was actually Affinity, who have told us that our program is their first suggestion when it comes to a centre's approach on behavioural guidance. And this has been a huge contributor to the positive outcomes in these areas that I have just mentioned. So it's really great to have that feedback from Affinity that what we wanted the program to be for is meeting those goals. So just with that in mind, I just want to take this opportunity to ask all of you, what are some of the challenges that you are facing right now? If you want to pop them into the chat box, because we do know that there's lots of challenges when it comes to early childhood. I've experienced them myself, and then working alongside 460 plus services and in educational environments, we understand that there's plenty of challenges out there. So let us know, because by you guys giving us that feedback, that helps us provide content in the program that is going to help you address these challenging situations. Children with challenging behaviours, yeah, that's a huge one, Violetta. We've come across that one a lot, so I think you're going to find lots from this program that's going to help you with those challenging behaviours. Trauma children, yeah, Tracy, I actually remember talking to you about this, and I would love to hear more about, because you've kind of started with the program now, what you're seeing from the program in that regards. So while you guys are popping those into your chat, I am going to share my screen. So bear with me for a moment while I set myself up here. If you guys want to give me an okay that you can see that fine, and I will get started with our demo. Alrighty. Okay, so here we are. This is our, thank you for sharing that, Leah. Yeah. Yeah. Massively, yeah, definitely. Okay, this is our home screen. So up here is where you log in and log out. And as you can see, I'm already logged in. And so what I said, I'm going to do a helicopter because there is an abundance of content in this platform for all types of environments. And there is no right or wrong way to implement the Positive Living Skills program. And as you'll see, as I run you through this content, I'm sure you're going to start getting ideas about how you can implement the parts of the program for your individual service or learning environment. So here we are on our homepage. So this has everything you need to know with Positive Living Skills. It gives you suggestions on how you get started and the orientation page. So I think for anyone new or existing, this is a great place to start or come back to, because what you will find is the orientation page has everything you need to know about Positive Living Skills, starting from the situation, familiarizing yourself with our 6 core concepts, getting to know Possible because he is absolutely key in implementing, and you to help you unpack your welcome kit, talking about our happy highlight clickers, our wonderful keyword sign flashcards, getting to know the media library, and then it goes into all of the other content as well as some tutorial videos. So all of this is a really great reference point. So even if you are familiar with the program, it's great to come back here because then it gives you, you know, other areas that you might not have delved into. And that's what I am hoping tonight I'll be able to share with you as well, is to show you sections of the program that you might not have ventured into yet. So what you'll also find on the homepage, we have our PLS community forum. We would love to see our services networking in here. This is a great place for us to share content with you, and it's a really great place for you to network with other services who are utilising the Positive Living Skills program. Share what you're doing, share where you know, anything you want to know or how other services are using. So this is a great opportunity to get the most out of the PLS program by using the community forum. So that's a good thing to regularly check. And then we've got just any info sessions that we do. I'll pop this one in here tonight. We'll pop that down here as well. All right, I'm going to start with our mate, Possible. So if you have not met him yet, I suggest you get familiar with him because he is absolutely key to getting to know Positive Living Skills and having your children want to know more about PLS. So Possible, he's our mascot. He is our everything. So he is, the mottos that he has teaches you everything you need to know about Positive Living Skills. So he has a growth mindset and he likes to eat healthy food. He knows that being active helps us with our minds and our brain function. And then he also knows that we need to learn and build our skills. We need to have confidence and we need to try new things and persist in practice to build these skills, don't we, Possible? And the more you can interact with him, the more engaged your children will become. And he becomes that support worker in the environment. So we've had lots of feedback, especially from some of our C&K services, as him being a good support worker in the room. Children really come to love and trust him. So, you know, have him whisper into your ear and get those kids engaged and have him in the room. So it's really important to get to know him and how we can use him. So there's sections here on how to introduce Possible, working with the puppet to get used to having him on your hand. Some of our educators have said that, I don't know how I feel about working with a puppet, but honestly, just have him as another friend. That's what you're in childcare for. You're in there to engage the children. And if you can engage with Possible, you're going to engage those children. Have a special place for him. So we have had some incredible feedback and some photos and, you know, educators share with us where they've put Possible and he's in the room and he's got his special place. It might be a box, a tree, whatever it might be. Just have him somewhere where he can be supporting the children at all times and be referred to whenever you need him for that support. You can also find Possible products on the members store as well if you're looking for more. We've got our at-home family pack, which is amazing to get families engaged. And I think the best way to do that is also with Possible. Families find it really easy to connect with him as well, especially if you've got him at home and at your learning environment. Let's pop over here and we're going to have a chat about our learning experiences. So as I mentioned, we have our 6 core concepts. And if you're wanting to find out more about the 6 core concepts, you can certainly do so. We have a little description about the 6 core concepts here underneath the learning experience section, but you can also jump in here to the educator resources where it has more on each of the concepts. So it just gives you a little video on each concept and more of the research behind where these concepts have come from. So I'm going to jump back in here to our learning experiences. So you can have the choice of having a look at our list view, which just runs you through the 8. So there's 8 learning experiences in each concept. And if you're wanting to know a bit more about each of the lessons, you can go to this gallery view and it gives you a quick little blurb on each lesson, which is a really helpful way to go, yep, this is what I'm looking for my children, to get you into that learning experience. So with these learning experiences, I'll quickly just give you a little brief overview of our 6 core concepts. And you'll also find you have these flashcards in your kits. And these are also related with keyword sign. So we partnered with keyword sign because we have had great feedback that lots of places are using keyword sign, and it's a really great way to help children communicate. So what you'll see is we have the concepts and possible and our changing channels concepts. And that tells you exactly what you can do with keyword sign. And it gives you a little description of each of the concepts as well. So this is a really handy way to get to know the concepts. So just quickly, we've got highlights. So this is any positive, joyful experience that you can have in any day. So this is a really great one to get children using the highlight clickers. Getting them to know that even if you've had a rough day, if you've had a really challenging day or morning or week, there's always something positive in any type of day or experience. Feelings, obviously, and the thing with these concepts is they're very self-explanatory. So if you look at all the concepts, you can understand what they're each about. And the best thing and the feedback we've had is that these concepts are really easy for the children to understand and really easy for the educators to deliver. So when we talk about feelings, we're delving into how to build those connections and understand our own feelings and the feelings of others, our behaviors and actions, and how to identify them in others as well. So this is where we talk about empathy and how to notice your own thoughts. Our changing channel concept, as I said, is one of our most popular. So that's where our mind is like a television and we all have our own remote, and we can change our feelings channel when we're ready to. So that's all about really validating children's feelings as well, because every emotion is a valid one and children need to feel safe about how they're feeling and able to express that. So that's what our feelings concept is about. Our focus concept is a really popular one because it really zones in on teaching children how to focus on the present moment, use their breathing to regulate themselves, and know that you can focus on particular goals and outcomes that you want to achieve by having a fully connected focus. Relaxation. So this again, we definitely go into the different types of breathing that can be used to help self-regulate. We have some amazing relaxation audios, which help children regulate in fun ways. So we've got Spaghetti Toes, which is really popular. We've got our Jelly Belly, which teaches diaphragmatic breathing. So there's some excellent relaxation interactive audios that you can do with children in this one as well. We have cooperation, which is a really fun concept because a lot of the lessons are play-based, like game activities. So, and it's all about having children learn to work together, cooperate, take turns, and know that it's followership and leadership, which is really important with cooperation, because we do have children who like to be leaders, and we do have children that might choose to take the followership route. And I've had this conversation with a lot of educators actually, is that this concept has really helped children to how to be a good leader, and that a good leader can also follow. So this is where the cooperation unit really helps children to understand how to cooperate. And then we have self-esteem. So this is my hands down favorite concept, I have to admit, because it's so important for children to be able to have a healthy self-esteem. So going into primary school, if children don't have that self-esteem, then that's where I find the academic side of things lack. So if a child isn't feeling confident or able to have respect for themselves and others, have a positive self-talk, a physiology of excellence and understanding what that means and how to present yourself to be happy and confident, or when we might not be feeling happy and confident and what that looks like. This is where it can make or break situation in a way for when children are starting school, that they have the confidence and feel ready to take that step because they have that positive self-esteem. Being proud of who you are. So that's a super important concept. So they are a quick overview of our 6 core concepts. And I'll just show you one of the learning experiences now, just so that you can see. So these learning experiences are predominantly 15-minute lessons. Now, you may choose to do that, and you can do it as a 15-minute lesson. However, you can also pull this apart because the program's completely flexible to be tailored to your environment. So if you think that you have children that are ready to sit down and take in a 15-minute group time, this is where these learning experiences would be really great for you. So as you see, each learning experience has educator notes to talk about the lesson, the components that you might need when implementing the lesson, any prep that you might choose to do beforehand, and learning goals, and then aims and outcomes with an I can statement. So there's all of this amazing content with the ELF outcomes, which has been, we have updated our outcomes to the version 2 of the Early Years Learning Framework. And then it goes to your start of the learning experience. Also know that at any time, you do not have to go through the educator notes. So as you can see up here, you can just head straight to the start of the learning experience if you just want to jump straight in, because that's what is great about this. You can jump straight into a lesson and deliver it on the go. So as you can see, it's really simple ways to talk about, and in this case, feelings, and talking about noticing your thoughts. So it gives you really easy conversation starters with the children, and then some pictures to go along with it. And then it gives you some activities to do with the children. And Possible does some talking. He's throughout the program as well. So you'll find his videos in different parts of the learning experiences as well. And then we have a discussion point for the end of the session to have with the children, and then a reflection as well. And then there's a where to next section, because obviously we understand that in the learning environment, you have a planning cycle and you're doing activities with children for a purpose. So this can also help you with the where to next of that learning cycle. We have an introduction learning experience as well, which is really great to get to know PLS. So this is a really good one to start with for any type of learning environment, especially for the educators and getting to know positive living skills. So this just obviously goes through in a really easy way to explain to children who is positive living skills, what are the concepts about, talking about Possible and getting to know Possible. And as I said, this is the Possible song, which is really great for children to get to know. You can skip through this and skip any part if you feel that you don't want to go into too much detail, or you know that there's sections that you would like to. So again, completely flexible on how you would like to use the program. So there we go. There are our learning experiences, and you can spend a bit more time going through and having a look at those. We might pop over here to our story time library. This has been super popular, especially with our family daycares. So I've had a lot of conversations of late with family daycares, and even some of our long daycares and preschools have mentioned that they love these stories. They're really simple stories that you can do with the children that relate to the concepts. And sorry, my computer might lag a little bit. So just on the concepts, and it gives you like a little flip book with pictures and simple wording to read the story to the children. And then there's also a reflection point at the end on the story. And what I loved about this was I had a service end of last year tell me that they had done, I think, Theo Feels Frustrated story. And they had one of the little kids came up and said, "Oh, I just feel like Theo. I'm so frustrated right now." And the educator said, "What's wrong?" And they said, Theo, he was frustrated. And they're like, oh, right, okay, PLS. And the child was so easily relatable to Theo's situation in the story that it helped the educator guide that situation that the children were having. And that child was able to express that they were feeling frustrated, which was really exciting. So these have proved to be super beneficial. We also have an animated story here. We'd love to get feedback on these because we love to know what you like more of, whether it's just the flip books or if you're enjoying these ones as well. So this one is about possible and relaxing, and it gives you a bit of animated as you go through that.
Oh, that probably comes back in.
So that's our storytime library. Okay. We have a transition section. So this has school readiness activities related to positive living skills. So you can jump into here, and this has been beneficial, obviously, for that last part of the year to help children prepare for school. We have tips for transition. So this is more of a general one for any age groups. So you might have children from a younger age group transitioning to an older age group. You might have children transitioning to school, or you might have transitions from a family daycare to a preschool. Any type of learning environment, there's tips for transition in here as well on each of the concepts. Then we have our 0 to 3 year section. I really wanted to show you guys this one tonight because this has been a point of conversation that I've had with a lot of different learning environments, especially our family daycares have mentioned that these sections are really great for them as a starting point because it gives you simple activities on each of the concepts. So you can go in here and get an idea on how to teach the concept through a simple activity, and it gives you the links to them as well. I've also had a few childcare centres tell me that they like to use these for children that may not be ready to do, say, a 15-minute sit-down lesson to get to know the positive living skills concepts. The younger age groups definitely benefit from these because of the simple activities, so that once they've started to learn these easy implemented concepts and activities, that's when they become really familiar with positive living skills. So by the time they are in that older age group, they're well equipped to do the learning experiences. So these are very popular. We then have our media library. So I hope I'm not speaking too fast, everyone. I hope everyone's keeping up. Our media library. So as I said, this is a great go-to. So if you are just wanting to go have a browse, say, I want to do something, positive living skills, come to the media library. You've got songs, your videos, your resource downloads. So this has absolutely everything from all the learning experiences that you might like to do as an activity with the children. You've got all of your posters. So if you're wanting to download any of the concept posters, the feeling poster is really popular in all of our learning environments. Educators like to print that off and cut them out to make flashcards. So they can play bingo with those. They can play matching games with those. I had a service tell me that they played feelings charades. And so the children got up and they had to look at the feelings and then they had to act that feeling out. And it was just such a fun thing for the children to do. So as much as we provide an abundance of activities and content in here for you, it's so easy for you to think up your own ideas or adapt your own way of teaching to the concepts as well. So you've got all of your animations. So we've got our possible animations in here too. These are fantastic. The kids love these. You've also got your audios. So, your songs I wanted to mention. So if you are not a massive fan of screen time and you do not have screen time in your service, then you can utilize all of the relaxation audios. All of the songs are available in here as well, and they can be used without any screen time. And then obviously that goes for the resource downloads as well. You can utilize the content if you're not wanting to use a lot of screen time or technology within your service as well. So this is our media library. We also have our family link. So this is our family link up here. I really recommend in your welcome kit, you get a poster which has a QR code. If you have your families scan that QR code, they can create their own account to access the family link. There's amazing content in there, which talks about 0 to 6-year-olds. Then you've got your teenagers, and then you've got adults content as well. I've done some of it. I love it. So there's heaps of content in there. And then there's the members store, as I mentioned, where you can purchase your additional items. We've got our Wellbeing affirmation cards, which are new as well. So these are fantastic. We use these every day at home with my kids. Love these. And I think, actually, I wanted to mention our Educator PD. So as we mentioned, there's a lot of content in here for the children to take home to the families. Educators learn as they are implementing the language with the children. And then there's the Educator PD. So with the Educator PD, this is 3 90-minute sessions for the educators to do. So you log in with your own personal email to access this, and you can complete these. There's a workbook that goes with it and a video of beautiful Jo doing the workbook with you. And this is fantastic. We have had so much feedback from educators doing this individually. Some do it as a team at staff meetings as well. So that educator professional development is in there for you guys as well. I think they were, okay, educator resources was the last thing. So here is all your information that you might want to check out. So you've got your activities guide, you've got your family resources, which has our newsletters. You can do your keyword sign. You can have a look at the website for keyword sign. The Early Years Learning Framework Guide is in here. The National Quality Framework Guide, we link it to the Positive Living Skills program. So this is really helpful if you're wanting to add to your QUIP for assessment and rating. And we also have the Victorian Guide of the Victorian Early Years Learning Framework. And actually, sorry, I just forgot that I wanted to quickly show you one key feature, which was our learning story feature. So this is super popular because we all know that you guys have lots of things to do in little amounts of time, and we wanted to try and help where we could with that. So what you've got here is the 6 core concepts, and each learning experience, sorry, we're a bit slow today, has a pre-populated learning experience on that activity. So if you were into the feelings unit and you did, say, the learning story on feelings, you could click on that and it pre-populates it for you. So basically, all you can do, I've prepared one earlier, is you can pop in your logo, because the feedback was that educators wanted their logo at the top of these. You fill in your information, click on the learning experience that you wanted to document, and it pre-populates it for you. You can edit this, you can add it in, you can add names, you can add class groups, you can add to the experience and where to next. It brings up the ELF outcomes automatically, and that's where you can put your logo and your photos in, and then it's as a downloadable PDF for you to print if you do old school portfolios and want to share it, send it home for children who've just entered the learning environment. If you're using a platform like Storypark or anything like that, it's really easy to upload to that as well. So this is proving really beneficial to help with documentation and positive living skills. Okay, Kath and Jo, have I missed any important things, do you think, here, or have I gotten through majority of that content of what's available? Yeah, we're good.
I think that's a great overview, Hales.
Yeah.
And yeah, now we're
Amazing job.
you know, we want to, you know, have anybody reach out with questions, because that's a key part of
Yeah, so
this
today is
session.
definitely about you guys and wanting to know what, if there's anything else you want to know or about the program. I might just stop sharing for this moment so that I can see all of your beautiful faces. And if anyone has any questions, or did I miss anything previously, Kath or Jo, about the program? Is there anything within the program that you wanted to know more about? I do know that there was, I think we were going to, yeah, look, I had a question that I did want to ask you guys, if there's nothing that you need to know more about with using the program. I just would love to know, I'd love to know how you would see this supporting your environment. If you feel like you've already got some ideas for the children in your classroom or your family daycare, or if you're a psychologist, how you would utilize this program in your environment. Or if you already are using it and you have seen benefits, we love to hear that feedback. So if there's anything you would love to share, we're always happy to get photos and videos. I actually had a conversation today with family daycare, and I'm going to use your name, Michelle. Michelle was saying that she's already noticed her family daycares are loving using the program, and we'll have to share some photos. And I was like, please do, because we get very excited when we get photos and videos. But yeah, we'd love to hear any success stories that you have had with PLS. So if there's any questions after our helicopter ride of the program, I would love to hear them and I can answer them for you. But if not, then you guys can go home, hopefully, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Just also remember that if there are any questions in regards to the program, logging in, any of the other areas of the program, tailoring it to your age group, your needs of your children, behavioural needs. I talk with a lot of services on a regular basis, and we can help make suggestions based off our program. And yeah, I don't think we've got any questions at the moment. So I think that was, is everyone happy with what they've seen tonight and feels confident moving forward if you are new to the program?
Everyone's really quiet, aren't they?
No. That's all right, they're
Just
tired.
realised I was on mute, which is unusual for me. Any stories of how you're using it, how you might see it helping?
And I think, does this cost? No, does not cost for families. So in regards to that, so the service accesses the full program and can utilize that within the centre. And then there's the family link, and that's free to anyone. Anyone can access the family link. So as I said, you just go to that family link. They go to the poster that you got in your pack. They can scan the QR code and they can log in. So it's really simple for them to do that. Then in the family link, it's got content related to the program. So if you're teaching the kids about Possible, then parents can log into the family link and they can access the Possible song. There's an animation and other parts of the program in there that they can utilize at home as well, which is really great to obviously have that connection from the service or the learning environment to the home environment, because we know that that's a huge thing that everyone's wanting to achieve.
And
thank
just
you,
on that,
Michelle.
I was going to say, Hales, just on that with the waiting on the delivery of the welcome pack, they don't need to wait for that welcome pack to get started.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely not. So if you're waiting for that welcome pack, you can definitely jump in and get started with Possible, talking about highlights and doing anything in the media library. So looking at the animations, teaching the children the songs. With the password details, you would have received an email. If you have not received an email, you can go into the platform, and where it says log in, you can click forgot password and put your email in, and it will send you a new password link. If for some reason you don't get it, please definitely contact me so I can help you with that. Chris, we used PLS last year and was great success. Loved using the highlight clickers with the children, and they love Possible. Definitely. So the highlight clickers are a really easy go-to activity, even doing a circle time with the children. That's where the highlight clickers can be really handy. So you sit down at the beginning of each day or at the end of each day and have each child click what their highlight was for that day, and they find that really fun. One of our services likes to use the highlight clicker, and it's a challenge for the children to see how many highlights they can click in the day, and they like to beat that each day. So yeah, that's really cool. And yes, Possible, he is loved very much, so definitely recommend getting to know him really well and including him from the beginning. Okay. I think I'm just having a quick look at the chat. I don't think there was anything else. I didn't miss anything, Kath or Joe, back? No, okay.
No, and just I will just pop in just on that comment that Debbie was making about, you know,
Yes.
the parents
Yeah, I just saw that.
and just having them, that challenge of them not necessarily seeing potentially what their child's behavior is. And that's where the family link can be a grounding or a universal or a little bit of an education, because if parents log into that family link, they start to learn the language of highlights and feelings and focus and relaxation and cooperation and peer support and respect and those sorts of things. And it's a way to have that dialogue, you know, and that education coming into the home environment as well. And perhaps even, you know, help the educator have that confidence to broach that topic with that family in a more confident way. That's where the PD will help too, in terms of that self-leadership and those sorts of ideas as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I
It's
know
definitely
from
a
past
challenge.
situations that past situations I've had in the learning environment where you do have children with challenging behaviors, and it can be quite challenging to speak with the parents that might not see that. It's addressing with the parents that areas you're focusing on, goals that you're working on with the children, and then having that documentation, which is where the learning stories can come in really handy, and saying, you know, this is what we're working on, and showing the positive progress that you might be having with that child, so that then the family, you know, you can say, this is what we're working on, you can take this home. And like Joe said, that's where the family link can come in, and you can be doing more of that at home, and hopefully finding ways there to include. I think it's really important to include families and encourage their input, to reiterate the program educators are doing in their service. 100%, definitely. So that's why we introduced the family link. That's why we introduced the learning.
And the family newsletters as well. Yeah, they're a really good way to start the conversation.
Because in those family newsletters, there's the tips and suggestions that parents can do, little activities with the children at home. But also what I find is really, really beneficial is when the children are doing the activities, learning the language in the service, they're the ones that are taking it home. So a perfect example is that changing channels concept. You can do an activity, which we did actually when we went to Western New South Wales, and the kids loved it. So we did a remote control. So the children had the feelings faces, cut them out and put them onto their remote control, and learnt about the different feelings, that all feelings are valid, and that they can change their feelings channel when they want to. They took those home, and parents were blown away that the children could understand that how important it is to have different emotions and allow them to be okay, and how they can change their channels. So doing those things at the center with the children is key into taking it home to the families as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I cut you off, Kath. Was there anything you wanted to add there?
No, I was just going to acknowledge the educators, because it is so challenging, and including families and communicating with families, we know that's a real challenge. And, you know, we're doing our utmost to provide some resources and ways to be able to do that. And at the end of the day, we all know, like, the parents, there's involved parents, there's engaged parents, and there's just going to be parents that aren't going to see what they don't want to see. So I just want to acknowledge you. That was all I wanted to say, because that's the reality of it.
Yeah. But I always know that when I worked in childcare, I found that there were those parents or families that, you know, that was that situation, but I still wanted to do what I could in the learning environment. And I know that even when you don't have that cooperation, as long as you're doing what you can to instill confidence and self-esteem and respect and empathy, and, you know, helping that child work through those challenges, at least you're doing what you can to help support that child get ready for the, you know, adolescence, because that's what this program's about.
And also the peer support around them, like or even the peers around them as such, because they're seeing the other children. Yeah, we have had some feedback from a service where the children all had a way of identifying to another child through the PLS language and content, that that child's behaviour wasn't working for them. this is using other language, of course. And I just remember this teacher telling me about this, and it was amazing that child then was away, had been off school or off preschool for a few days, and had come back, and these kids were like, "No, we're going to tell this. We're going to say how we feel." Anyway, the feedback from that teacher was that child was really amazed, and really there was a huge behavioural change over that. So, yeah. They do take it on, and they do.
And there was the
absolutely.
comment just a bit up further about spitting and biting. So you have those challenging behaviours, and although we are not specialists or in the area of that, we do know, obviously from my experience as an early childhood educator and from what we have done, is that when you have situations like that, I think it's really important to delve deep into those feelings of the child, because they might not even understand what those feelings are that they're feeling. So for you to go through and do the feelings concept with the children, do those learning experiences, talk about the different feelings via the feelings chart, then they start to understand what is frustration, what is jealousy, because they might not know. And once they can identify those deeper feelings and emotions, that's when they can start expressing, okay, I'm feeling jealous. And then that's when you can go, okay, so when we're feeling jealous, what can we do, to help that situation, rather than just going, this child's so angry that they're spitting and kicking at me. And I know how hard that is, to be in that situation. But from my experience, if you can get to those deeper emotions that child is experiencing, and they can understand what that is, that can then uncover how they can move forward and start to learn to express themselves in different ways.
Well, there's resources. Hopefully, you're going to all explore what the resources, the songs, especially the relaxation audios, all of those. Please just access them, and you can just do it at any time of the day. So yeah, make the most of the platform resources and content that you can, and you'll all make it work however you need to do best in your environment. You're all professionals, and yeah, your kids.
And definitely share your feedback with us. We want to hear how it's working for you, or if there's something that you'd like to see more of. We're always updating the program with new content. I'm working on some keyword sign videos at the moment, actually, which should be uploaded not too far. Just got to get my act together to get these videos finished. But they're to help you to use keyword sign with the children. So that can also help with those challenging behaviours, because sometimes it comes down to the children not understanding the language you're using, which is where the keyword sign does come in to help in those situations. So we'll be updating that content shortly. We've also got some things in the pipeline to work on some more social stories, because we know that social stories are a big thing in childcare, and they're very helpful with situations in the learning environment for children to understand how to socially interact. And again, with those biting issues, with those lashing out rather than using their words. So yeah, definitely keep that feedback coming to us. I'm here via email, phone, if you ever want to communicate. The community forum, again, is a great way to do so as well. So yeah, just keep the communication lines open, and we obviously want to support you as much as we can. All right. Well, I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight. If you have any feedback on tonight's session, obviously this is the first one for the year and the first one of its kind that we have done. If you have any feedback on these sessions and what you would like to see in future, share your feedback with us. Thanks again, everyone, for being here, and hopefully you can go home and have a bit of downtime.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
yeah,
It's lovely
Thanks,
to see you.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Thank
Night.
Thank you.
Have a good
Have a good
night.
night.